All right, today we're going on a mission. We're going to decode the grammar of a really fascinating language, Vietnamese. And trust me, by figuring out its core logic, we're going to uncover something way deeper than just a boring set of rules.
So let's kick things off with a little puzzle. How would you translate a super simple phrase like I like you into Vietnamese? Seems easy enough, right? Subject, verb, object. But as you're about to see, this one little phrase, well, it holds the key to understanding the entire language.
Because here's the thing, in Vietnamese, there is no simple answer. There's no single one-size-fits-all way to say, I like you. The words you have to choose depend completely on who I am and, even more importantly, who you are in relation to me. This whole puzzle really reveals the #1 most important principle of Vietnamese grammar. Social relationships literally build the words you use. The language actually forces you to map out your social world before you can even say hello. Let's see how that works.
Okay, this is a huge difference from English. For us, I is always I, you is always you. Simple. But in Vietnamese, pronouns are this incredibly detailed social map. For example, a younger woman talking to a slightly older man might say "en thick ein," but a child talking to their grandma, they'd say "gon thick ba." You are literally defining your exact relationship in every single sentence you speak.
These are what we can call social pronouns. And they aren't just polite substitutes for names. They are absolutely mandatory. You have to use them. You can't just talk to someone in Vietnamese. You have to talk to them as a specific someone. A younger brother, an older friend, a grandchild. It's the first thing you have to figure out in any conversation.
Okay, after that deep dive into social pronouns, you're probably thinking, wow, this language is going to be tough. But I have some really, really good news. Beyond that initial complexity, the actual mechanics of Vietnamese grammar are surprisingly simple. It's a huge relief for anyone trying to learn it.
So get this, the basic sentence structure is subject, verb, object, or SVO, which is exactly the same as English. So to say I like pho to a friend, you'd say min, which is like I/friend, thick, which is like and, phở, min thick phở. It's a solid, familiar foundation to build on.
And here it is. This might just be the best news any language learner can possibly hear. Are you ready for this? In Vietnamese, verbs do not change. Ever. I mean it. It doesn't matter who is doing the action or when they're doing it. The verb stays exactly the same. The verb to like, tick, is always tick. It's amazing.
So you're probably wondering, okay, but how do you talk about the past or the future? The solution is just so elegant. You just add a tiny marker word right before the verb. It's like using building blocks. For the past, you pop in da. For the future, say. And for something happening right now, dang. And notice, the verb for eat, un, it never, ever changes. You just slot in the marker you need. It's brilliant.
All right, so we've covered pronouns and verbs. Now for the final piece of our big grammar puzzle. Now this one's a little more of a challenge, I'll admit, but it has its own beautiful logic. We are going to crack the code for how Vietnamese describes things, the noun phrase.
Let's try another little puzzle. Take a look at the words on the screen. Apples, red, 3, these. In English, the order is a no-brainer, right? These 3 red apples. All our descriptive words pile up before the noun. But Vietnamese flips that logic completely on its head. Any idea how?
Here it is, the golden rule for cracking this code. In a Vietnamese descriptive phrase, the noun, the actual thing you're talking about, always comes first. It's the anchor of the whole phrase, and everything else just gets built around it.
Okay, so here's the full formula. Even though the noun is the anchor in your mind, the phrase gets built in this very specific order. You start with the number, then a classifier, which we'll get to in a sec, then the noun itself. After the noun, you tack on any adjectives, and at the very end comes a determiner, like this or that. Let's see how it works.
Okay, let's assemble our phrase using that secret code. Ready? Number, ba, which is 3. Classifier for fruit, chai. Noun, tao, apple. Adjective, da, which is red. And the determiner, nai, meaning this or these. And you put it all together and you get ba chai tao, da nai. It's perfectly logical, just following a completely different set of rules from English.
Now, you probably noticed that word classifier.
This is a new concept for most English speakers. So think of it like a mandatory category word you have to use whenever you're counting something. You don't just say 3 apples. The language wants more clarity. You essentially say 3 units of fruit, apple. And there are different classifiers for everything, objects, animals, fruit. It just adds this really fascinating layer of specificity.
So we've decoded the core pieces, the social pronouns, the simple verbs, and those logical noun phrases. Now it's time to kind of zoom out and ask, what does all of this actually mean?
You know, when you look at this whole system together, a much bigger picture starts to emerge. That constant need to define your relationships with pronouns, that clear, logical structure, it all points to a cultural emphasis on community and on respect. It's not just about getting the words right, it's about getting the relationship right. Respect is literally woven right into the fabric of the language itself.
So we'll end with this thought. We started out just trying to decode grammar, but what we really found was a reflection of a culture. It really goes to show you that learning a language is never just about memorizing rules. It's about understanding a whole new way of seeing the world. And it makes you wonder, what if every language's grammar is a map, not just for building sentences, but to the very soul of its culture?